Hi everyone. My name is Luna, and today I want to share a powerful story with you. This story is full of mystery, emotion, and a big secret that changes everything. If you're learning English, don't worry. I will speak clearly and use simple, natural words. This story will help you improve your listening, learn new vocabulary, and feel more confident with English. So, relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the story. Let's begin. I never liked basements. Even when I was a child, they made me feel nervous. Like something was hiding there, watching from the dark corners. My mom always said I had a big imagination. Maybe she was right. But now, I'm not so sure. This story began with a sound. It was quiet. A small, soft noise, like something moving under the floor. It happened 3 nights after I moved back into my childhood home. My mom had just passed away. A heart attack, they said. Quick, peaceful, alone. I returned to the house to clean her things, to sell the place, to say goodbye. I didn't plan to stay long. But then, I heard it. A dragging sound. At night, under the floorboards. I thought maybe it was the old wood. Or a mouse. I told myself it was nothing. But I was wrong. I went down to the basement. The light flickered. The stairs creaked. The air felt colder than I remembered. I searched the basement with my phone flashlight. Everything looked normal. Boxes, tools, old books. But then, I saw something strange on the far wall. A line in the cement. Not a crack. A perfect rectangle. Like a hidden door. I brushed away the dust and found a small latch. I hesitated. Then, I opened it. Behind the wall was a tunnel. Dark. Narrow. Cold. I should have walked away. But something pulled me forward. The tunnel was short. At the end was an old wooden door. I pushed it open. And what I saw made my heart stop. Inside was a small room. There was a bed, a chair, a table, a single light bulb. But what shocked me most? The walls. They were covered in photos. Photos of me. Hundreds of them. Every year. Every birthday. School pictures. Candid shots. Even pictures I didn't know existed. Someone had been watching me. All my life. And they kept it hidden down here. I ran back upstairs. My body was shaking. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about the photos. Why did my mom have them? Why did she hide them? The next day, I searched her bedroom. Drawers. Boxes. Papers. Old journals. Most were normal. Grocery lists. Garden plans. But one journal was different. She kept writing about someone named Anna. Anna came today. Anna says I must not tell him. Anna knows the truth. Anna? Who was Anna? My name wasn't in the journal. Just hers. Over and over again. And then, I found a key taped to the back cover. The key didn't open anything in the house. Not the basement. Not the attic. Not the shed. But I remembered. My mom spent some time in a care center last year. She had a locker there. I drove to the care center and asked the staff. They let me in. The key opened the locker. Inside was a single box. I opened it slowly. Inside were more photos. But this time, not of me. They showed a young woman holding a baby. She stood in front of our house. On the back of one photo, my mom had written, Anna, 1996. That was the year I was born. And the woman. She looked just like me. The same eyes. The same chin. It hit me all at once. This woman was my real mother. My hands started shaking. My legs felt weak. I sat down on the floor. Everything I believed suddenly felt like a lie. My whole life, I thought my mom, Mary, had raised me from birth. But that wasn't true. She had taken me. I searched public records. Called the hospital listed on my birth certificate. They told me something that changed everything. Yes, I was born on that day. But the mother's name was Anna Collins. Not Mary Carta. No adoption papers. No legal process. Just gone. Then I found one more thing in the box. A letter from Anna. It was old. Torn. Stained with tears. She had written, "Mary, please. I just want to see him. 1 hour. You promised. Why are you hiding him from me? He's my son." She wrote it 2 years after I was born. She was begging to see me. But Mary never let her. I searched for Anna online. It took time. But finally, I found a woman named Anna Collins. She lived 1 state away. She was a teacher. She would be in her late 40s now. The age matched. I sent her a message. She replied the next day. Her message was short. "I always knew you'd find me. We met at a cafe. I got there early. I was nervous. Scared." Then she walked in. She looked just like the woman in the photo. She sat across from me. Her eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "I thought I'd never see you again." I looked her in the eyes and asked as gently as I could, "Why did she take me?" Her voice was soft, almost like a whisper from a dream she didn't want to remember. "I had postpartum depression. After you were born, I wasn't well. I wasn't myself. Mary offered to help, just for a little while. But once she had you, she never gave you back." I felt a heavy silence fall between us, then asked, "Did she have any legal right to do that?" Anna's eyes filled with sadness as she slowly shook her head. "No, nothing was legal. She just vanished with you. I tried everything. Called the police, begged for lawyers, knocked on every door I could. But she changed your name, left the state, and I had no way to find you. No money. No power. I was completely alone." She paused, looking down at her hands like they still carried the weight of those years. "She would send me pictures of you sometimes. Just enough to break my heart all over again. She let me watch you once from across a park. Another time I saw you perform in a school play. From the back of the auditorium. That was all I got. Tiny moments. And then she'd disappear again." Her voice cracked, but she continued, forcing the truth out. "She warned me. Told me that if I ever tried to take you back or told anyone the truth, she would vanish again, and this time she'd make sure I never found you at all." I sat there frozen, too stunned to speak. Inside me, something deep began to break. Memories shifting, walls falling down. The childhood I thought I knew was now full of questions. Moments I once cherished suddenly felt hollow, like scenes in someone else's life. And in that moment, I realized the strangest, hardest truth of all. I had 2 mothers. One who held me close but told me lies. And one who let go, but never stopped loving me. It took time to trust her. Time to understand. I didn't run into her arms or call her Mom right away. But we started small. Coffee, phone calls, sharing old memories like puzzle pieces trying to find where they fit. She showed me the baby clothes she had saved for me, still folded after all these years. A small stuffed bear, worn but loved. Letters she wrote every birthday, hoping that one day, somehow, I'd read them. She never stopped believing I would come back. Even when she couldn't hold me, even when she had no hope. She never stopped being my mother. As for Mary, I still don't know what to feel when I think of her. She fed me, protected me, stayed up with me when I was sick. She taught me to ride a bike, to tie my shoes, to face the world. But she also stole something sacred. She tore me from the arms of the woman who gave me life, and for reasons I may never fully understand. She kept the truth buried like a secret in the dark. She was kind, but she was also cruel. She loved me in her own way. But that love came with lies. I can't forgive her. Not yet. But I also can't bring myself to hate her. Because life, Life is never simple. It's never just good or bad. It's a blur of gray in between. I didn't destroy the hidden room in the basement. It scared me, yes. But it was part of my truth. I kept the photos, the journal, the old letter Anna wrote with shaking hands and desperate hope. These aren't just secrets. They're my history. Pieces of me. But I sealed the tunnel. Because some doors don't need to stay open. Some chapters must end. Some secrets must come to light. And others are better left behind. Now, Anna is part of my life. We take walks in the park. We sit in quiet cafes. Sometimes we talk for hours. Other times, we say nothing and just listen to the wind or watch the sky. We still cry when the pain feels fresh again. But we laugh too, over old jokes, shared memories, or just silly things that make us feel whole again. We're building something new. Something honest. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But it's real. And after everything, that is enough. Sometimes, I walk past children playing in the park and wonder what my life might have been like if none of this had happened. If Anna had raised me from the beginning. If Mary had made a different choice. But the truth is, wondering doesn't change anything. My past is not a clean, straight line. It's twisted, broken, patched together with pain and love and silence. And somehow, I've learned to live with all of it. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means carrying the truth, even when it hurts, and finding a way to move forward anyway. The day I finally called Anna Mom, it wasn't a big moment. There was no music, no dramatic pause. It just slipped out one afternoon, as we were sitting on her porch, watching the rain. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't say anything. She just reached for my hand and held it like she'd been waiting forever. And maybe she had. In that one small word, I gave her back something she had lost. And in doing so, I found something I didn't know I'd been missing. There are still nights when I lie awake and think about Mary. Sometimes I feel a strange ache of gratitude for the life she gave me. Other nights, I feel nothing but confusion. I keep her photo in a drawer, not on display, but not thrown away either. She was part of my story, even if that story was written in shadows. Some people enter our lives to love us. Others come to teach us hard lessons. And some do both. That doesn't make it easier. But it makes it real. So now I live between two worlds. Between what was and what could have been. Between anger and forgiveness. Between loss and love. But I'm no longer searching for who I am. I'm done looking for perfect answers. Because I've learned something far more important. Sometimes the deepest truths come from the most painful secrets. And sometimes the love that was lost can still be found. Not in the past. Not in the lies. But in the quiet, honest moments we choose to create today.